Hey, what's up, guys? Min from Vanguard Heroes with.
Hey, Diego's here.
Yeah, finally found him on the Rift, the Summoner Rift. Dragged him back to do this fan request. It's been going on for like a month now. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I feel really bad because this is actually my preferred deck. This is my clan. I felt bad when I was like, no.
I left it to the swole man of the group to do the deck profile.
Dude, we had to do nice and powerful with the Dimensional Police.
Nice and powerful, exactly. So we're back, and this is gonna be a Dimensional Robo deck profile featuring the new Ultimate Great Die Kaiser.
Oh, the beautiful dude! I had this planned out since I first saw Die Kaiser. I was like, how come there's an Ultimate Daiusha but no Ultimate Die Kaiser?
Yeah.
As soon as this came out, I was like, oh my god, it's the manliest thing ever seen.
It's so manly. Even in the Metaborg era, this card's just so manly. So anyway, we'll start with the deck profile. We run 12, grade 3, yes, 12, because we ran 10, and you'll see in the montage later that we just could not seem to hit the grade 10, even with triple drop check. It was ridiculous.
Goodness.
Both match needed one grade 3 to win, and then both end of the match, opponent just luck sacked us with crit.
God.
So it was really unfortunate, but you'll also get to see him with his skill off and why he can just add so much hand to Dimensional Police and so much pressure. But you know, just wasn't the day today. At the time we recorded to get any match. So that was 10 though. So now we upped it to 12. This deck profile is after the montage coming later in this video.
Yeah. So I run 2 great Ultimate Die Kaiser.
Yeah, you never want to run more than 2 because there's so many ways to go into him.
Yeah, the whole point of him is that late game just destruction, and you can always have Die Kaiser on top of Die Kaiser, which is completely scary as well, and it's a lot more consistent.
Yeah, I think it's preferred Die Kaiser over Die Kaiser, and then go into Ultimate. If you can get that done. But you know, it does cost a lot of counterblast.
Exactly, yeah.
Because on the turn you do it, you require actually 3 counterblasts, 1 for the break ride and 2 for
the skill. Yeah.
So getting it off, doing Die Kaiser on top of Die Kaiser, and then doing him, that's gonna take a total of 4 counterblasts.
Yeah.
So it's gonna eat up your counterblast, but totally worth it for end game push.
Definitely. And then there's 4 Shadow Kaiser.
Oh yeah.
Which helps me out completely with getting whenever I need to have that ending Ultimate Die Kaiser. I just counterblast 1, put him in the soul, and then if I have Die Kaiser in my Vanguard circle, I can search for Ultimate Die Kaiser and ride it.
So it's consistent. This deck is all about getting Die Kaiser and then on Die Kaiser, or then Die Kaiser right into Ultimate Daiusha. So very consistent. And then
there's a Diard, which originally I didn't want to have too much because he's pretty much a 11k Daiusha.
Pretty much.
Yeah, but still strong enough, and I also kind of just really need him for the consistency of the grade 3s, because as you'll see in the rest of the video, I really need some more grade 3s.
Yeah, so just wasn't enough, so we threw in 2 Diard. Diard can also be very consistent, because if you ride him, you can slip 1 Dimensional Robo into the soul and ride into Die Kaiser, so it's just more consistency into Die Kaiser. But with the fall of grade 2, you'll see you really don't need that, which is...
I have Kaiser, which is a +5 Vanguard, or he gives +5 Vanguard where there's a DP written on him. So
if you ride Kaiser and then go into Diard gets that extra crit.
Exactly.
So you can just pound him with the extra crit next turn. What you could do is put the next turn after you already crit them, put another Dimensional Robo into the soul, go into Die Kaiser, and then use Shadow Kaiser to go into Ultimate Die Kaiser and go from there. And that's just an insane combo. But unfortunately, at the time, we didn't use Diard yet, which now we upped it to 12 grade.
So now we should be able to use it.
Hopefully it'll be better and more, better matches in the future for that.
Definitely.
And then
there's always 4 Dead Dragon, just because he's such a great 12k attacker.
12k attacker always really important.
Yeah, it's really nice.
They have 7k. This is the most flexible attacker, whether you want it to be the first attack or the second attack.
Exactly.
And it will always hit 11k Vanguard. So, and don't say, oh, if they're cross-ridden, there's a lot of ifs. So this is overall 12k is always really good.
Exactly.
Unless you really can't have room for him, always try to run a 12k of a deck, unless you really don't have room for it, of course. And then 1 Die Fighter just to
make sure we're strong.
Just to make sure no great stuff happening, no shenanigans going on with great stuff. Which unfortunately there was no great stuff even with the 12th grade 3.
Yeah.
So for grade 1, I guess we can start with...
Kaiser Grader is just for the more consistency of the Die Kaiser. You use him in combo with Kaiser. If your opponent is at grade 2, you counterblast 1 and you choose... what is it?
Grade 3.
Yeah,
you
choose a grade
3.
Yeah, you digigrade 3 from your hand, and you put Kaiser Grader into Soul, and you can search for Die Kaiser and ride it and stand.
So more consistency going into Die Kaiser. And of course you got your Sentinel. So why we go with the 3 perfect and 1 quintet?
So the thing with the 3 perfect and 1 quintet, quintet is still very strong. I still want to use it. I still want to be able to use that that skill of having the top 5 cards, or is it top 5?
Yeah, top 5.
Yeah, top 5 cards of my deck to be able to guard for me. But at the same time, I lose a lot of advantage with that, and I lose potential of counterblast, and because of the fact that both Ultimate and Die Kaiser need the counterblast for the break ride and the skill.
Yeah, this is for a situation when you don't have a lot of hand, and whereas Perfect Guard would make you lose another card, this can just cost you a counterblast. So it can sometimes come in clutch, but if you prefer to run just 4 Perfect Guard, by all means run 4 Perfect Guard. Like, that is completely fine. Like, it doesn't hurt from the build. In some game, you'll find that it's actually better because it doesn't eat your counterblast, and your hand will be massive if you're using the triple drive check and you're hitting draw trigger, which we run so more than usual in this deck, just to try to get into the combo pieces. Because this deck, might run a bit inconsistently. Dimensional Robo doesn't create a lot of advantage for themselves in terms of superior calling from the deck.
Yeah.
So that extra draw could definitely help getting into your Kaiser Grader, Kaiser, helping you get into that combo, or just making sure you're not great stuck in the early run.
Yeah, exactly.
And then
we have 2 Die Tiger. He's great. He's just a 10k beat stick.
10k beat stick early game good, and then late game 7k boost is not bad either.
And then also
now we just got to talk about the hero of the deck.
Oh my god,
Laurel the hero.
He was literally the hero. I haven't really been able to use him exactly yet, but oh my goodness.
When he goes off, it is
wonderful.
It's because with that triple drive check, most opponent we play just drop 1 perfect guard, which is so unfortunate not to be able to 1 have Laurel, 2 drive check that grade 3.
Yeah.
Because if we hit with that crit, game would have been over. Even if they heal, the Vanguard restand and we swing it again with Die Kaiser ability still on, where if we get a grade 3, we can pierce through a guardian of theirs.
Exactly.
So he is so good. Just put on so much pressure. So now with Die Yard added to the deck, that second turn when you have that crit after riding on top of Kaiser, go ahead, slap down with 4 other card, and then just create pressure.
Exactly.
So make them drop the entire hand.
And then just picture this. You're maybe at 4 or 3 damage, not worrying too much about the game. And then I slap down Ultimate Die Kaiser on top of Die Kaiser. I have Laurel. I have triple drive check. I have enough counterblast. Yes. I hit you with...
even if you're at 2 or 3 damage, you are never safe. You are never safe.
I hit you maybe once. I only have to hit once.
Yeah,
and then I can stand again and do another triple drive.
Just rest 4 unit. Don't even about the 4 rested unit. The Vanguard more than makes up for it.
Exactly.
So remember, but an important thing to remember is that triple drive check can only be used once per turn.
Yeah.
So even if you restand with Laurel, you do not get the triple drive check. But another drive check is still 2 more free cards.
Yeah, remember that especially on the card it says you cannot. It's only once per turn. Yes. So even if you counterblast twice again, maybe you have enough. I don't know how.
Yeah.
But you cannot.
Yeah, that you can pay the cost, but that ability cannot be used again. So, if you have 2 free counterblasts and want to waste them, by all means, please don't.
Yeah.
So, for the trigger lineup, standard Dimensional Robo Die Battle.
Yeah.
If you for some reason have it in your soul, if you need to use Go Yusha effect, which we run and we'll explain why, you can soul blast it, give your Vanguard a nice 3,000 power for that final turn push.
Yeah.
Then I guess 6 crit total with 2 Justice Cobalt.
Yep. Justice
Cobalt is there. You can mix it up. You can run one of him and one of
Demon Eye
Gorgon if you want. But the interesting part is 6 draw. Again, I explained earlier, just to get into your combo piece, help you not get great stuck, maintain that hand advantage.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to need that much crit, especially since your Vanguard swinging with crit late game anyway. Yeah. And for heals, because heals are always important.
Definitely.
And then Go Yusha. Go Yusha. So many people have debated about him. Yes, you lose massive card advantage, but when you have triple drive and you can able to perform, you're not always games aren't always gonna go your way where you're pacing your damage well. And when you ride Die Kaiser on top, when you're at 2 or 3 damage, sometimes you'll be riding him when you're already at 4 damage. And Go Yusha is that extra slip into the soul, and just if you don't have another a way to get into Ultimate Die Kaiser, just to get off that combo. He's a security. Yeah. This deck has so many security that the ride it's considered almost a ride chain.
Yeah, almost.
You're always gonna almost hit Kaiser on grade 2 and Die Kaiser on grade 3. But it's so consistent.
No, yeah.
Other starters to consider that are not as good. Diamagno is not as good in this deck because you don't require a specific number of Dimensional Robo and Soul.
Yeah.
and the security is much better. You could, you know, and then there's the metaboard, that's obviously for metaboard.
Yeah.
Then there's Die, the grade 3 searcher, but you don't want the grade 3 in your hand. You want them in the deck for
Exactly.
Kaiser. So it's like, oh, but you want to search for Kaiser. Well, it's already so consistent. You're not gonna need to search.
You don't want him in your hand, really.
So right now, the only optimal starter for it is definitely Goyusha, adding that ability. And so pretty much that's it for the deck profile. Hope you guys enjoy. And enjoy the montage and see why Vanguard is 70% luck and only 30% true skill. Anyways, this is Min.
And Diego.
Signing out.
Filthy. filthy.